A veteran defender that was on the Panthers' radar is officially off the market. The Panthers potentially have a new rivalry brewing? And Coach Frank Reich spills the beans on a potential new exciting role for one of the offensive guys that's been around. We got all that and more on this edition of Panthers News Today, and we're starting right now. What up, dude? What's going on? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk, bringing you a recap and analysis of the NFL, in particular, the Carolina Panthers. So if you want to see more videos just like this one or live streams where I go over the latest news that come from the Panthers, film breakdowns, of course, podcasts as well that I'm doing now, hit that subscribe button down below and the bell icon. That's going to make sure you get a notification every time I drop a video because, like I said, I got all kind of content coming up. And as we get ready to ramp up for the offseason program and training camp, you guys, if you've been around, you know how I do for training camp. I get that in-depth content, so make sure you are subscribed. You have those bell icons hit on so you get notifications when I drop videos. And of course, please give this video a thumbs up because it only takes you 2 seconds and it doesn't cost you a thing. And of course, as I always do on all these topics, make sure you stick around for the whole video because I would love to get your thoughts down below in the comments. Let's chop it up. I want to get you guys' thoughts. I'm going to spill these beans on these news topics, but I got to get you guys' thoughts as well because you guys are the fans of the Panthers. So I want to get how you guys feel too. So Panthers fans have been pounding the table to get another edge rusher here because we didn't really fully address the pass rush per se opposite of Brian Burns this offseason. Yes, we did pick up DJ Johnson in the third round of the draft, but overall, Panthers fans still want to find somebody that can make an immediate impact, not a developmental guy. And one guy that was on their radar, which is probably the hottest pass rusher that was out there, was Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd was a former edge/outside linebacker for the Los Angeles Rams. He was thus cut because the Rams tanking, who knows what they're doing. But he was getting paid a lot of money. The Rams decided to move in a different direction. Leonard Floyd was a potential here because he spent time with the Rams, which also with Ajiro Evero as well when they were there. So that background and familiarity was there for one. Number two, he has the same agent as Brian Burns, so we already know that Scott Fitter had been in contact with him and had been keeping tabs. It just seemed like the price was a little bit too high for Leonard Floyd as he was looking for $12 to $15 million. Nevertheless, Leonard Floyd has signed with the Buffalo Bills, a contender. Yes, they now have Von Miller and Leonard Floyd, two former Rams edge rushers who won the Super Bowl together. So you see the vision of what the Bills are trying to do. Regardless, the Panthers are going to have to be in a position to either pay up for a DN that because we are not contenders or, you know what I'm saying, just let it walk or be patient. And it seems like they were fairly comfortable with that. I know fans, like I said, aren't really too high on Haynes, YGM, DJ Johnson, or Barno in rotation, of course, but it seems like the coaches are fine with that. We know Brian Burns is the only established rusher that we have right now, but there still could be room to grow with YGM switching to outside linebacker. We know he's great against the run. Unfortunately, he has not really developed that pass rush repertoire that we expected him to be as that raw guy coming out of Penn State. But it is what it is. Marquise Haynes, I think he can actually make some moves as well himself, though, because he's been effective in the pass rushing scenarios that he's coming in on. He just doesn't get to play every down because of his lack of size and weight. Sometimes is a concern in the running game. So I understand that, but I still think that with more opportunity, Marquise Haynes can be an effective pass rusher as well. Not to mention they have options with Frankie Louvu coming off the edge like they used last year at times. Louvu's going to be a guy that moves around. But if you look at Ajiro Evero's background with the Broncos last year, they were top 10 in DVOA in terms of defense. Now, DVOA is pretty much just a analytic metric that's used. That's pretty much, it takes all things considered from situational football, turnovers, and all this and that against the strength of opponent, the location, and it tries to get a flat-out even playing field of how good a team is. And they were number 7 in pass defense, even though they were one of the highest-ranked blitzing teams because they didn't get pressure with their front four by itself. They even traded Bradley Chubb last year and still had a top-flight pass defense. So it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for some Panthers fans to get out that mindset of having to have these two bookends and trying to rely on our secondary because why do you think we put so much emphasis on adding safeties? Because safeties and DBs are huge in this system, and that pass defense is built from the back to the front versus the front to the back. You know what I'm saying? They're hoping the good coverage and maybe blitzes from the safeties and linebackers will help the D-line versus the D-line getting home and helping the secondary cover. So just a different way to think about it, a different philosophy. Ajiro Evero is a very bright individual. There's a lot of bright defensive minds as well on this team, so I'm willing to trust them for now. But if they want to look at another veteran presence out there, I think Melvin Ingram should be on their radar. He'll be a lot cheaper than Floyd, has experience playing in that 3-4. will be a rotational piece so you can still get some of your developmental guys involved and not have to worry about them losing too many snaps because Ingram's a little bit up there in age, but they can still get after the quarterback. So Melvin Ingram is a great piece, in my opinion, from South Carolina, went to South Carolina, you know what I'm saying? So all that good stuff is there too. He's a Gamecock. We know we love those Gamecocks on the Carolina Panthers. So Melvin Ingram is definitely an option. But you guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about Melvin Ingram possibly coming in, or are you good on us adding any vets? Because it seems like the Panthers are pretty much committed to sitting on the money they have, even though they had $27 million in cap space. They seem to be content with not overspending. So I want to get you guys' thoughts down below how you feel about that. The next topic we have to talk about is this rivalry that's been brewing. Now, since I'm a creator, I try to keep a pulse on how the Panthers fans are. You guys know I talk to you guys mostly on YouTube, but I'm heavy in the Twitter streets. I'm in some Panthers Facebook groups as well. I'm on Reddit. Everywhere, man. I try to get a pulse of how things are going across the landscape of this fan base. But what I've been noticing on Twitter, and you may not have noticed it if you're not on Twitter, is that there's been a lot of back and forth between the Bears and the Panthers. Now, why? It all goes back to that draft pick. Now, I think a lot of Panthers fans were actually low-key closet Bears fans because they still won't let go of the fact that we drafted J.C. Horn over Justin Fields, even though Justin Fields has not shown a ton of promise outside of just using his legs. Regardless, they will not let that go, and they will never forgive J.C. Horn or either Matt Rule as well for choosing a quarterback who is struggling for his own position to a cornerback that they think is injury prone and a waste of da-da-da-da-da. Regardless of how you feel about J.C. Horn, I think he has potential to be an elite talent, and I'll take that over a middling quarterback as well. Not to mention we have our quarterback now, so there's no use of crying over spilled milk in terms of Justin Fields. But we also know the connection that happened this offseason with the Panthers moving up for the #1 overall draft pick, having to get rid of DJ Moore, the Bears signing PJ Walker, the Bears signing Deontay Foreman. There's a lot of connections there that we know about and that we are aware of. Of course, there's going to be not bad blood, but maybe it'll be a blood and guts game from DJ Moore, just like Steve Smith did when we play in Week 10. But it seems like what Bears fans have kind of overstepped that pissed Panthers fans off is they just think that we're such a trash organization that we're going to have a top 5 pick next year for that draft pick. And they're just preying on the Panthers' downfall. That way that future first-round draft pick that they traded for from us will be a higher pick. As ill-advised as it is, because when the Panthers had Matt Rule or even willingly tried to tank or by firing the coach during the year, they even almost won the playoffs. So the cupboard is not bare here in Carolina, and we expect things to actually uptick. And so Panthers fans are really standing up for themselves. There's been a lot of back and forth. It will be a very exciting to pay attention to during that Week 10 matchup against the Bears. I, for one, on my opinion on this, I'm just happy that we're arguing with other fan bases, not amongst each other. For so long, we've been arguing cat and mouse about everything. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's who's going to be our quarterback next year or about the head coach and who's going to be the next head coach. And one side saying that, like I said, we should have drafted Fields. The other side saying we want J.C. Horn, and just all that stuff within the fan base is just, it's annoying because we're supposed to be coming together and talking trash to other fan bases. So this is what I really love to see. Now, preferably, I would love it to be towards the Saints or the Falcons because those are my least favorite teams in the league right now. However, one step at a time, at least we're on the same page of getting against these Bears fans and just letting them know that you guys actually earned the #1 overall pick last year. We just happened to trade for it. We're not as bad as you guys, and there's levels to being trash. The crazy part is a lot of these Bears fans that are talking trash to the Panthers saying that we haven't won a Super Bowl weren't even alive for the Super Bowl. So how can you even enjoy and brag about a Super Bowl you weren't even alive to witness? You know what I'm saying? Your parents probably weren't even alive to witness that in this day and age because a lot of these guys are 19, 20, 21 years old online arguing with Panthers fans about Super Bowls that happened in the 80s, in the 70s or whatever. So it's all fun and games in the Twitter sphere, and obviously, and the players don't seem to be paying attention to this. Like I said, it could be a blood and guts game with the former players and the connections, but it seems like it's mainly just the fans brewing this. But a lot of times that's how things can start. They can just snowball from there into the field. So we'll see what happens. But you guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about a potential Panthers and Bears rivalry, because we already fleeced them when we got that Greg Olsen trade years ago, but they think they fleeced us with this #1 overall pick trade, even though there was rumors that the Bears were considering Bryce Young over Justin Fields. Just saying. So you guys let me know how you feel down below about this Panthers Bears rivalry. But just a real quick nugget for you guys that are like me, where you like your Bryce Young jersey and you ordered it on that pre-order draft weekend, you're probably disappointed because it said the shipping date is not till September. Some of them said October if you're like me, and it's just crazy. Now, some people said that they bought into the sale this recently on the NFL shop, and their Bryce Young jersey came within 2 to 4 weeks. It's frustrating because why would I, as a pre-order person that put in that money earlier, have to wait until almost the fall to get a jersey? But a person that orders a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when you had a sale, pays less and still gets their jersey. It's crazy. But what I did, which is a solution or a workaround, go to the website, look for the alternate processed blue jersey that's custom, and just put in Young as the last name and number 9. You're going to have to pay about $40 more or so extra in the price, but you'll be able to get it 4 months ahead, well, 3 months now, than you normally would have. If it's going to ship in September or October, you can get yours in June and be able to get your autograph in training camp for Bryce Young. I, for one, don't want to wait to the season to try to, and then have to wait to the following year when he's not even a rookie anymore to try to get a signature on it. So the quick workaround is to get that custom jersey right now. If you're just a Stitch fan that likes like the numbers to be stitched on, you're going to have to wait. But if you're fine like me, getting the iron-on numbers and stuff like that, you can take advantage of getting that processed blue Bryce Young jersey on the Panthers Shop right now. Like I said, just make sure you do the custom route. Don't just buy a straight-up Bryce Young jersey that you see. Do the custom route, put in Bryce Young's info. Just a little nugget from Uncle Dunk right here, just trying to help you guys out. Last but not least, we have to talk about a Panthers weapon on this team that came a little bit late last year, that never really got to see his full potential, but we saw those constant flashes. Frank Reich was asked last week about Laviska Shenault, the all-purpose guy, and asked what type of role that he may have, especially with this crowded wide receiver room. And Frank Reich mentioned that they could see him potentially doing something Deebo Samuel-like things, dare I say it. Now, we all know Deebo Samuel is that all-purpose guy that can line up in the backfield, take handoffs, take those end arounds, catch those short passes, and get that yak. We haven't seen that full display of things from Laviska Shenault. We have seen that yak on those basic plays and bubble screens that he got, but I think that there is still a lot of meat left on the bones. If you see some of the pictures coming out of these recent camps, Laviska Shenault is looking very, very lean. You know what I'm saying? Looks like he trimmed some fat down. He look a little bit cut up in the arms. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. It looks a little bit quicker. Maybe he can do some things himself. Now, of course, Laviska Shenault was traded for right during training camp in August, the end of August. So he didn't get a full training camp. He didn't get fully ingratiated in the system. And of course, we had Ben McAdoo and Baker Mayfield, so they weren't really able to put in a full system to really get creative and utilize his skill set to the fullest. Now, a lot of teams have been trying to do that since he came into the league because they saw his role as a Deebo Samuel-like role. But we have a lot more creative minds now with Thomas Brown having that Sean McVay background, obviously Frank Reich having his own background as well. And you could probably pay attention to some stuff that like Paris Campbell might have used. So I'm going to look at some more film that way as well to see that how he used Paris Campbell and maybe how that translates over to how Laviska Shenault does. Regardless, if we can get a chess piece like Laviska to turn into a Deebo Samuel that can turn easy throws and easy catches or end arounds and pitches and running plays in the backfield, turn them into big plays like he did last year consistently, man, listen, I'm foaming at the mouth thinking about Bryce Young having another potential weapon with that. Nobody's saying he's going to be Deebo Samuel because Deebo Samuel is all pro. We get it. But if we can get any kind of diet version of Deebo Samuel or light beer version of Deebo Samuel, I'm all for it because we don't have the big play makers that we want to right now at the wide receiver position. But if some guys can step up like Laviska and find a role doing anything, whether it's like I said, in arounds, handoffs, screens, I'm all for it. So let's see what they do with this creativity. And Frank Reich says they're not going to force it, but if it works, it works. And they see what potential he has, and they want to take advantage of that. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about them saying that Deebo Samuel-like role for Laviska Shenault. Do you think he can live up to that expectation? Do you think the skill sets translate a little bit? I want to get you guys' thoughts down below in the comments. But without further ado, I am Aaron Duncan here signing off. This has been Panthers News Today. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any more videos. I'll see you next time. Peace.